welcome to the Junior Drilling Challenge Culinary Competition. We are in our 11th season, and 6 schools have made it through to this stage of the competition. They are the Lodge School, the Springer Memorial Secondary School, the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic, St. Leonard's Boys School, the Aline School, and the Courage and Parry School, with the top 3 going on to battle it out for this year's trophy and prizes.
Okay, chefs, your 45 minutes starts now.
Well, Glenroy, we're here at the beginning of the mystery basket, which proposes a slightly more challenging than the first round, where the signature dish they will have trained and practice and like 2 hours of preparing for that one. But now it relies on partly of what you've done in your training, but you have to be a bit more creative and thinking on your feet.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a challenging time to watch and an exciting time to watch, because as we look at it and our chefs, we look upon it as that. I mean, it's not really a mystery basket. It's just items that they probably have been working with throughout their training session, but it's just how to incorporate it now into a dish by themselves. We realized that the last session that they had, the signature dish round, they had 35 minutes in which to prepare the plate, and now in this round they have 45 minutes in which to prepare their plate. But what is so ironic about this round, they have 3 proteins that was given to them in the mystery basket, and they have a choice of using all 3, using 2, and returning 1, but they have a certain time in which to return the one that they are not using. If not, now they have to use all of it. And then along in this basket, you have some of the sponsors products, which is a lemon syrup, and then we have a Caribbean Summers smoked sauce. And we had a chance to taste some of that Caribbean smoked sauce. And what do you think about it, and what do you think it will go best with?
Well, Reginald, what do you think about the other items in the mystery basket, which are compulsory they have to use?
Yeah, interesting combination, all right? Not the basic stuff that you would expect. We did have a chance to taste the summers, all right? You can't be deceived by it, it has a nice sweet taste at the end, but it's very spicy at the end. So they have to be careful, with that ingredient, yeah? Because they want to be tasting it as well. So I hope they tasted it before they actually use it, as we did.
In this competition, the mystery basket, at first I knew that it was going to be how the kitchen was and how to maneuver more now. So all I did was remembered, and then at first I was like, whew, please don't let them give me beef, just don't let me give me beef. And we didn't get beef, so it was good.
It was in this round, mystery basket round, it was much more difficult because I had more tension in this round, more tension in this round than the first one.
It seems here from the Springer School they are using some of the sauce. They have tenderized out their pork loin, and they have plastered a layer of that sauce on it. So that should be a nice sweet, spicy flavor on the inside of that. And I also see now she's adding in the peppers to it. So it seems that they're going to be doing some sort of roulade, and they have applied some of the spicy sauce on the inside. Well, I also see with the Samuel Jackman Prescott team, they're back to the local Old Basin seasoning and their seasoning of their protein product.
Further down, College and Parry, they also chose the pork tenderloin. So it will be interesting to see what they're doing with it as well. They haven't tenderized it as yet, so he's still cleaning it at the present moment.
I'm over here now into the Spring Memorial, into the section. Just a final, just a slight idea of what they're going to prepare for us today, and which is the protein that they have chosen to use today.
Today we're preparing a stir-fried tenderloin that's going to be baked in the oven. I choose to use the tenderloin and shrimp.
they are using the tenderloin and the shrimp today that they are actually using today. So I'm yet to see how this one is going to come out for these guys.
Yeah,
because we saw yesterday what they did with their chicken and in their signature dish.
I think that's a very wise choice too, Reginald. Both of them very, very quick cooking time. So with these, with the preparation, the loin, depending on what cooking method you're going to use on it, you can prepare that. Leave it in a marinade or the seasoning for a while. Then when you cook it, you can also leave it to after it's relaxed. Afterwards, you don't rush to cut it. So good choice, and with the shrimp also good short cooking preparation time. So this gives you really a chance to work on the other components of your dish.
Yeah, that's correct. And also to give them a fighting chance to finish on time as well.
I'm over here now in the Coach and Perry section now, so that's to find out what they're going to do and which is the protein that they are going to use for us. Could you tell us today what you're actually going to do and which protein that you have chosen?
We're going to put the tenderloin in the Caribbean smoked sauce and do a tenderloin and Bajan lemon syrup velouté sauce.
And what other protein you're using?
We're also going to use the shrimp for a salad.
Okay, so you see the Spring Memorial School and the Coach and Perry School is both using the pork loin and the shrimp. But the Coach and Perry is actually doing their pork two ways. They're poaching the shrimp, they're poaching the pork in the summer smoked sauce, and they're also using the lemon syrup to make a sauce also for additional pork. And they said that they are going to do a salad with the shrimp. So me and these guys yesterday, we saw how ambitious they were in their presentation and in their dish and how they presented it.
Well, yes, Glenroy, I can see they're very ambitious again today, and they made sure they have used the compulsory products that they have to use out of the mystery basket. And we'll see what the other two teams come up with in their use of the compulsory products within the mystery basket.
And I'm just over here now with the Samuel Chapman Prescott Polytechnic just to see which protein they're using and what are they going to produce for us today.
Hi, we are doing the stuffed pork tenderloin with, what are you doing with the fish? He's doing the fish.
Fancy fish.
Right, and sauce with the Caribbean summer and sweet potato mash.
They're using the pork and the fish this time. They're pan-searing the fish and they're stuffing the pork and they're using the sauce. They're making the sauce from the smoked sauce that they have, so incorporating into it. I mean, so I see some interesting stuff come out of this round.
Glenroy, any note on how they're going to be using the lime syrup?
Coach and Perry said that they're actually they're making the sauce with it. But Samuel Chapman Prescott didn't actually say what they are going to do with it. Spring didn't actually say what they are going to do with it. But for this mystery basket, what I like about this mystery round is that, one time we would give them, all three teams will have different components and different proteins to work with. But what makes this round interesting is that each team has the same item in their mystery basket. So that's why this one is so interesting to see how diverse these guys can be and what they're going to produce from with the same items in the mystery basket and how they are going to be creative with it.
One thing they have in common, all three of them chose the pork tenderloin, which is
That's
interesting.
true.
We have 10 minutes, first 10 minutes have elapsed. You have 35 minutes remaining.
Yeah, they just have 5 more minutes just to return back one of the proteins that they're not using. Because if they keep all three, that means that they have to produce a dish with all three of the proteins. So they just have 5 more minutes in which to return one of the proteins that they're not going to use by letting the chief judge know. The chief judge is over there, so they can let him know which one they are not using. If not, after that 15 minutes, they know they have to use all 3 pieces of that protein that is given to them.
Today was a really exciting day. It was the mystery basket round. We were given fish, shrimp, and pork tenderloin to work with. We did pan-seared pork tenderloin, a shrimp salad, and we did a lime syrup and white wine sauce with stir-fried veg rice. I think Today went pretty well. I'm proud of what we did. The pressure in the kitchen was on. It was really difficult today because the other teams brought their game, right? But at the end of the day, I'm proud of what we did.
Today went well. I'm proud that we got through the mystery basket, and I am also proud that we enhanced the flavors of everything. We cooked the meat properly this time, and we flavored everything, and we seasoned it well. I'm very proud of what we did.
In about 3 minutes, the chief judge is going to come around. So the protein that you're not going to use, you can either indicate that you're giving him back, but you know that when he leaves from there, if you don't give him back, you have to use all 3 of those proteins, or not, you will be penalized for it in your final point. So in just under 2 minutes, he'll be just passing around to see what you guys are going to use and what your guys are not going to use.
And what I'm impressed with, Reginald, they seem to be moving at a very measured pace, not helter-skelter, but a good measured pace, and there's good communication amongst all 3 of the teams. And I think that's very good in order that you get through in a good time and you do a very good dish.
Well, it's interesting. I'm more sure Glenn Rice said that College and Parry was using the fish and the pork, but I think I see the shrimp is being prepared down there, so I don't know if they decide to use all 3. But, I guess when Max gets back, the extra protein, we will know what was eliminated.
I think right now the important things are 2 of the products and how are they going to use the summer. And
well, we already saw Springer. They used summer to marinate that pork tenderloin.
I know, I've seen it.
That's a very good thing to Max, because that adds a very good layer of flavor on the inside of the product, because they rolled it in a roulade shape. So it's got some good flavoring on the inside. It's just a matter now to make sure you have some sort of flavoring or seasoning on the outside of it.
True, but it is a delicate thing. So personally, I would have gone into shrimp.
Yeah.
It would have made the most sense, but
we'll see what they come up with now.
Absolutely.
We're coming up with 30 minutes remaining. The chief judge will be on his way very shortly in order to take what protein you have not used, and if you leave it there, it means that you have to use it. 30 minutes remaining. Seems like Coach Parry has used all 3 of the proteins, and Samuel Jackman Prescott, they have elected not to use the shrimp, and Spring Memorial has elected not to use the fish.
So, and as we said, sometimes less can be more, but it's always the flip side. The challenge is good, to raise the bar as well.
I see we have the first injury. I was looking at the most interesting way to cut onions.
Okay.
To chop onions. You cut the top, and then you turn them on the side.
That's all I got to do.
It seems that they use a little bit still a homegrown little way of
Chopping.
Of chopping.
Yes.
Not totally to be professional way as yet.
No. How did we cut? Big cut, little cut.
It was just a little nip that that the Spring Memorial got. I mean, yesterday we saw that, and for one of the students also, but there wasn't a deterrence from them. I mean, they still finished strong, and they came through very strongly with that. But it's just a nip. So she's just taking the necessary precaution because we know how that goes. So it's just a little band that we just put on it, and she's good to go again.
And they're really still moving at a really nice measured pace, Reginald. It seems that Coach Empire has quite a bit on their station. They've been very ambitious indeed.
Yes, because the young lady, she's working on the cabbage, so I guess that's part of her veg that she'll be preparing, right? And she's vigorously attacking that cabbage. You know, it's a big one, but she's being persistent with it.
You see Spring Memorial there, really on a team plan. One person is on the vegetables, the other person is doing some kind of breading. I don't know which protein they're going to apply that breading to, but they seem to be working as a good team there in unison, and also still keeping an eye on what's on the stove.
That's the shrimp that they have there as a protein, because they had rejected the fish.
And what is so interesting about this round, both signature round, is, I mean, this mystery basket round is that they're more focused, and every time you can see they're just glancing at the clock and just recognizing and just watching the time that they're operating in to see exactly what is what, and trying not to really go over the time that they're in. And Spring Memorial actually coming through the signature round, they're actually coming into the mystery basket round with one of the highest scores throughout the signature round. So these guys are coming in with a level of confidence and a level of reassurance that they can actually make it through to the finals.
Yes, and it's also good to see Glenroy that they have started the cooking process, which is very important with your time management. And it seems all three teams have a good synergy going where there's stuff going on the stove, and yet there's still stuff going on the workstation.
Okay. And also, you can see Springer, they just breaded the shrimp, and she's actually pan-searing them. But she should be careful because it's 25 minutes left.
Still have quite a time
and
going
on.
on.
Have 25, we're coming to 25 minutes remaining. So Springers seem to be well, a bit of ahead of the game in their preparation, but it's very important still to utilize their time quite good, Reginald.
And also watch the heat that they're using the shrimp on, because you know shrimp is something very delicate and it cooks very quickly, so they still got to be mindful that the heat that they're using for that shrimp, they got to watch it in between because it's still...
And we see the lady from SJPP head into the oven.
And they have done a roulade with the pork loin. Seems to be stuffed with some vegetables. I have a lovely sear on the outside.
Good color.
And then they're now preparing to take it to the oven.
Today's mystery basket round was more advanced than yesterday, but we still get through, and we thought we was running out of time, and we thought that we couldn't get some things done within the 45 minutes, but we still got everything done, and we did the panzer
fish
oven stuffed tenderloin with fish.
With a marinated fish, with a English potato mash, accompanied with a apple ginger sauce.
And grilled eggplant, plantain, and steamed broccoli.
See something has the chief judge very captivated over in these stations because he has not left us yet. I mean, what he's seeing going on actually has him stuck over there. So you know that when he comes back to give his review, he's going to have some awesome comments to make.
Well, we can see down on the Coach and Prairie station, they're taking our advice, they're tasting. I can also see them cooking with some wine. So this is going to be very interesting to see all the different flavors that they have been applying to their dish.
We have 20 minutes remaining. 20 minutes. We can also see some teamwork going off the Springer Memorial. They're tasting, getting each other's opinion, which is good.
And I can see Samuel Jackman, they're out on their grill, so they're applying a lot of different cooking methods to their dishes today, which is all adds very well to when one has to taste it on the plate.
Are we getting some advice from the crowd from early?
The general is making noise.
So far, Reginald, very much impressed with the speed level, which has really turned up a notch. We always know when you're first going into the water, tends to be a bit cold, but once you get your feet wet, then the whole body dives in. And I think that's what happening today. I can see the difference in the approach today. Everybody has turned up their game, which is important because everybody wants to make the final, but there can only be 3 teams.
That is correct, Chef Bayer. And I'm impressed, as you said, that they got the hardest job out the way. They got the protein out the way. They marinated.
He went to get one.
Seared it, and some of them even have them in the oven. The shrimps they cook easy. And I actually see Springer Memorial. They have their shrimps already cooked.
Well, I've seen Reginald that most teams has their veg component, their protein component on the go, and I saw one team with their starch on the go also. So seems that everybody's well on par with what their game plan today.
That is correct, because they still have like 18 minutes to go, which is a lot of time. All right, taking into consideration that they have the hardest part of their meal out of the way, so it's just a matter of putting together the veg, the starch, and if they have any sauce, it's just a matter of bringing that component together. So we have 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes, and we see Coleridge and Parry, they're flashing plates already. They have plates in the oven with 15 minutes to go.
It is funny that you call Coach and Perry, because when I went over there, just a glass of water, they are going, and I know the mic is going to pick it up when you hear the commentary. If you hear the communication between those two guys over there about taste this and taste that, I love how this is excellent. Check this and check that. The kind of cooperation and the kind of communication that is going on between these guys is phenomenal. So I know that they have taken a lot of our comments from what we talked about yesterday and this morning into the briefing, and just incorporating it into what they're actually doing this afternoon.
Yes, I recognize that also, Glenroy, that they have taken to heart some of the comments you're giving them, and we can definitely see that all 3 teams so far have upped their game with their tasting, the methods of cooking, and the application of heat. So we're going to see what they come up with.
Yeah, and then actually Coach and Perry is actually doing the rice, and we saw that done yesterday also. So it's phenomenal to see actually what they are actually producing from their rice and that kind of stuff. And you see Samuel Jackman Prescott just hustling them in. They're not walking. They are just moving very briskly and very eagerly throughout this kitchen. And I know this round is going to be very awesome and very amazing.
Yeah, and also from the SJPP, some vegetables were just removed from the grill. Plantain, it looks like an eggplant to be exact from here.
And we can hear in the background the noise coming from the audience to try to egg on the students as much as they can. But I know sometimes the students are just in their zone focus so much, they just block out the noise.
Yeah, but from that noise that we're hearing when I glance back just now, it's not just coming from, this competition is amazing this year. It's not just coming from the coaches and that kind of stuff. Other teams that is going on in the second round has actually come out just to cheer on their fellow partners, or they're competing to see who can be the better. They have actually come out to just cheer on and just to give a word of encouragement and a cheer of encouragement for these guys that has gone on in the first round.
I think that's very good too, Glenroy. I'm up here, man, feeling the heat. So I may have a very good idea of what those down there are really feeling right now.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. It is very phenomenal to see what is actually going on.
And you know, they handle it well. At this present time, I don't think they're minding the heat. They're just more focused on finishing that dish, right? Which is priority right now.
Yeah, with just about 13 minutes to go, I mean, these guys are well on their way. Actually, we see they are very well on their way with what they're producing for us today.
And it seems like the Cordon Party team, the young lady, she seems to be the general. She's just barking orders, and like a good private, he's just following.
Very small in stature, but her voice is very dominant and very pronounced with her teammate.
Also, a reminder to note is that, you know, for the plates, they just need to flash them. They don't need them in the oven for a very long temperature, because that can be detrimental if they have a sauce to put on it.
Yes.
Also, if you take a look at the stations, you know, at this stage they're still pretty much congested. You know, so I'm hoping they learn from yesterday and make sure they're clean as they go and minimize the cluster so they have enough room to plate those dishes when they're ready.
Yes, I see yesterday they ran into a bit of a tight spot with when it came to the plating aspect. But by now, after the first round, we'll soon start to move some of the clutter and prepare some area for themselves.
Yes. And we can see SJPP, they're both on the stove now, putting the final touch. It looks like some butter gone in the pot. She has some milk to add. We'll wait and see what they cook up for us.
You can see also Samuel Jackman, they seem to be cooking one of their proteins. They just put on one of their proteins to cook.
Yeah, it looks like the fish they're searing off.
But they still have good time to do that in. And we can really see now the intensity they're starting. Reginald, I've seen about 2 or 3 teams have already put their plates to get them preheated. So that means that they're thinking of that process, to start that process very soon.
Yes, and you can also see Springer Memorial, they have a number of finished product on the table, just going through them, all right, getting ready to plate. SJPP now flash their plates in the oven as well. And as we were speaking about the cooking technique of the pork earlier from the from the Springer Memorial team, now she's searing it after being come out of the oven to get that color.
Okay, different technique.
Yep.
And we'll really see how that one comes out. We're on the 10-minute marker. You have 10 minutes remaining. So by now, Reginald, they should be getting ready to do the absolute final cooking on all of their products, because at least by the 5-minute marker, they should be looking to start their plating process. So they still have about 5 minutes left of cooking, and therefore at the 5-minute marker with 2 plates, they should then be looking to get into their plating.
Yeah, that is correct. And they should also have a game plan, as we said from earlier, to know where each component is going on the plate, because that's also important. Because judging from yesterday, you know, I saw a team that was finished pretty early, and they were plating early, but they just did not finish on time. That means, you know, it shows a game plan was lacking.
Yeah, so probably got lost somewhere in between there, and that happens sometimes, that you get ahead of the game,
yes,
and then for some reason you find yourself backtracking. But I see plates going out on Cordon Party Station and on Springer Memorial Station, so they have the game plan in mind that they'll be soon looking to do that. But mind you, they still have roughly, I would say, 3 more minutes of cooking. 3 more minutes of cooking with 2 plates. You shouldn't need no more than 3 to 4 minutes to do a nice plating on that.
We can see the Spring Memorial team, they're checking the pork. She's cutting through the pork, but she must be mindful that as soon as you finish sear any meat, you should allow it to rest.
Yeah. She still has time to let it rest. You can look at other components, your starch, your sauce, your vegetable. She's still got time to let it rest.
There's no need to force, to cut it at this time. And also the temperature will be right for her to cut it as well. It's interesting that she's cutting it in the dish though, not on the board.
Yes, I think they're on the Spring Memorial. She should be using the cutting board in order to cut that pork instead of using the dish. But sometimes when they get in the heat of the battle,
yes,
they tend to forget the little things which are still very important.
Yes, yeah. No matter the competition, the basics, you always have to come back to the basics. Once you know the basics and you do the basics, you can't go wrong.
With just under 8 minutes to go. Just under 8 minutes to go, actually. So these guys, I think they are well on their way. So you see how brisk they are and how eager they are just to get these plays up. They don't want to go into overtime. But these guys are working very vigorously and very eagerly about what they actually have to do for us today.
Yes, and we can see the team from College and Prairie, they're plating, they're actually going through the paces, so it looks like they're going to finish early today.
Well, they actually are bringing two components to this dish. They are doing a salad and also a main course. The salad is already in the fridge, which is good on that chilling, because we know if it's a hot salad, it has to be hot. If it's a cold salad, it has to be cold. So they have done the right thing, which is to put it in the fridge just to keep it cold, so that when it comes to the judges, it is what it is and not what it was supposed to be.
Was the salad component that they did, Glenroy, comprised of items that any item in the mystery basket?
Yeah, it is. It has the shrimp in it. It's one that has the shrimp in it. So the guys have utilized basically all of the. They have taken all the proteins that was in the mystery basket. Actually, they did not hand back in any. So I'm hoping that they actually do all that. They actually use all of the proteins that was given to them, because they didn't hand back any, because they know that if they don't, they know what is going to happen.
And we see the Springer team, they're also plating as well. But just like yesterday, we always advise them to, try to blanch or cook their vegetables instead of putting them raw on the plate.
Well, it seems that all three teams, regional, are now getting ready to
do their plating.
into their plating, which is good. Just with about 6 minutes remaining, I think they have enough time on the clock to do their plating.
And I see the Spring Memorial is just using a very good technique there. They have blanched the spinach leaves that they are going to use for their plate, and they're not just leaving them like that. They have actually taken some butter and just brushing it over it, so that it can actually give it a gloss and just have a shine, instead of just having it look as bland as it normally would look, which is good for the plate. It gives it, it makes it a bit vibrant, and it makes it look alive and not dead.
Yes, and also Glenroy adds a bit of flavor to the spinach that's not bland in flavor.
That's true.
So 5 minutes remaining.
Just 5 minutes more to remain in.
If
you can hear what is going on from the coaches in the background, it seems as if the coaches are actually cooking and not these guys.
Exactly. Sometimes it can be good. Sometimes it can be a bit of a distraction.
It is not really a distraction, because if you look at the coaches' faces, the anxiety and the tension is on the coaches' face, and on the students' faces is a very calm and very peaceful look. So I think it's the coaches that has the more that is a bit more tense than these guys that is actually performing today.
Well, that is true also. I know from a coaching perspective, you always want your students to really do their best and really excel, but you also must remember it's a pressure situation they're in there, and sometimes it's best sometimes to leave them on their own.
That's true.
And rely on the training that you have prepared them for to carry them through. You can use some facial expressions to help them get through.
And interesting enough, there's Springer Memorial plating, but if you look, you can see they're stifling for space. They have to learn to clear away some space so they can play comfortable.
Yes, Reginald, you're sure right. On the Springer Memorial Station, there is some of that clatter that they can actually move, which they're not using, in order they can use the bottom shelf of the table in order to make more space for them, so they have room to play it properly, and instead of being too choked up. Okay.
True, because you don't want to disadvantage yourself, especially at this stage of the game.
And that goes to all the teams. Also, you know, they for sure they stuff on the stations that they don't have no need for at this moment.
Correct.
And you can just put it at the bottom of the shelves of the table and give yourself room properly to play.
We have 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left.
Same thing going. It seems like all three teams, Springer Memorial, Coach and Parry,
SJPP.
and SJJP. If you need to, you can always make some more room on your station to play. The bottom shelf on the table is still as good as the top. You know, you can clear some of the clutter off the top. Okay? There are things you're not using. You can put them on the bottom and give yourself more room to work. We're coming up to shortly 2 minutes remaining. Springer Memorial seem to be well on track to finish first today, and they've really been spending a lot of time on their presentation. Coach and Parry are now deep into also getting their plate presentation up. But again, sometimes a lot of clutter on the plate, on the table. You need to make room for yourself. Well, we're under a minute. We're not under a minute. Under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Under 2 minutes remaining. It seems, Reginald, that Springer are being very, very meticulous in their plate presentation.
Yes.
We're coming up now. 1 minute remaining, students.
60 seconds.
1 minute remaining.
So remember what I said earlier, you know, sometimes they get a head start plating,
Yes.
and then, you know, the fact that they're not, they haven't communicated about where each component is going, you know, they
Yeah.
lose time, precious time.
Precious time.
And we see that's happening.
Springer, although they look finished, yet still they're not finished.
Correct.
And the time is easing away.
30 seconds to go, 30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. And Springer still is there trying to be very meticulous in what they're doing, although they look finished.
Remember what we said, sometimes less can be more.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
you want
yes.
to add to this, not take away
That's
from it.
correct. I can see CP also is well in deep into
10,
plating.
9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's time.
Time's up.
Time's
But
up.
that doesn't necessarily mean you stop from cooking.
Continue
You still
cooking.
continue to cook, but don't forget that each minute that you go over, that is when that we kind of love that time, because that is our time that we tend to dabble in.
Yeah. So we have one team, Springer Memorial, finish on time again. Here comes College and Parry.
Coach and Parry have brought up their salad. Okay. We have here now Samuel Jackman Prescott coming up. Coach and Parry also coming up. This one is Coach and Parry. Yeah, put two of those together. Well, Reginald, it seems like all three teams are finished.
Yes.
So from here on, we're going to have a taste. But what we're seeing so far really looks fantastic.
Good afternoon again, I'm Coach Perry. It's good to see you guys also have made it this far. I'm watching you from last year and coming through this year. We see a difference in your attitude, we see a difference in your aggressiveness, we see a difference in your approach towards everything that you are presenting today. And basically, I think that what we have discussed, I mean, I'm not going to say nothing much than what judges have already said because I'll be just repeating what they actually said. So it was a very good presentation. I mean, you took up the challenge, I mean, of doing actually 2 plates, which is a starter, and also main course, which is very challenging. And you actually finished within that 45-minute window, which is also good. So you didn't only challenge us as judges, but you challenge yourself also, knowing that the aspects and the items that you have in your mystery basket, you can utilize them in much more ways than one in just using just a main course. So you presented to us very well. We like the presentation, we like your taste and textures of everything, and we just hope that we see you in the finals.
The only thing that I would have changed is your salad. Even so, the dressing was really good, but when you eat raw cabbage, you crunch, right? So I would have preferred a little bit of the sauce in and worked, and it would have come out way better.
Good afternoon, students of the Sprayer Memorial. You did exactly what we asked. The flavors were much more stronger, and there was no over salting or over peppering. Had a nice balance coming through. Your presentation of your dish was very nice. Only one major issue I had with your plating was the pork was overcooked, and I think how you treated it, how you handled it with the 2 different ways you did your cooking methods was responsible for it going overcooked, but it was very tasty. Overall, very good dish you did.
EC Media, the place for your culinary satisfaction.